Björgvin, welcome to the cave. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So, listeners, the viewers that tune to this interview, they can see you as Devin on Chucky season 2, which just premiered a few days ago. How does it feel to be part of a cult classic like this? Coming from the movies right now into the TV show.
Yeah, no, it feels, it's crazy to be able to get into this like big franchise that has been loved for like so many years and kind of getting into like almost like a formula, but kind of new because it's never been a TV show before. So it's kind of fun to be able to like get something that's familiar, but also put in like a new scene.
Yeah. So we're gonna jump more into the show a little bit, like I mentioned earlier. But I was doing some research on you. I saw you're a military kid. You traveled all over the world. How did you get into the acting world? What made you get into it?
Uh, I don't know. We move around a bunch, but mainly move around kind of the America area. So like kind of the United States. And when I was in, I think North Carolina, I kind of I've always been like recording little films, me and my brother and stuff. And kind of then I started kind of like putting myself out there. My mom was like, if you want to make some money, maybe they do something with these films. And I was like, okay. And I kind of started like self auditioning for things. And then I got an agent, and then I kind of moved around, and it's kind of slowly started. And then I booked Chucky after like a few years of kind of doing some acting work. And that's where I am now. I'm doing cool stuff.
Was the goal always acting? Because you mentioned you're making your own films, or did you want to maybe work behind the scenes at first?
I guess like for me, acting, it's fun, but I kind of want to also like delve into more of the production side as well. So maybe do some acting work and maybe do some production work as well. So I'm kind of starting in acting and maybe kind of gonna expand more after I hit something big.
Who influences you in the acting world? Is there somebody you look up to, or you try to like study, like watch their films?
I don't know. That's a super hard question. Like I don't really like have someone, I like certain films, but I don't know. I never really have someone that I can follow. I guess I like Coen Brothers' work. Kind of, I like their style. Wes Anderson is one I like a lot. But it's kind of just like if something I see is interesting, then I kind of want to do something like that. But I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite genre? What do you enjoy watching?
Favorite genre? Oh, I guess like thrillers, but like kind of funny. Okay. But like not like I don't know. I mean, that's so hard too, because it's like I don't have a favorite, it's hard to pick one. I like so many, but I guess I like ones that keep me thinking, like I guess thrillers or something like that kind of something like that.
What have you been binging these days? What's your go-to these days?
I've been watching the Fargo TV series, which I'm really liking so far. I'm on season 3.
That's awesome. So what's been your favorite project you've worked on other than Chucky? You can't pick Chucky.
Darn. Okay. Well, I guess I would say Chucky because it's really the only big one. I got to see a lot of stuff, but I did do like this really like I did like another feature film. I was a small role, and that was I guess like my first like feature set, being on a feature film set. So it was kind of cool being like seeing all the fancy cameras and like high production. And I guess I would say that it was a film. I think it was called Seventh Day. I'm in a very small part of it, but it was fun shooting that.
What's your ultimate goal someday? What are you hoping for? Do you have like a certain role you kind of hope you get your hands on, or even like any other type of thing?
Yeah, I guess the ultimate goal is probably like make a movie that's like written and directed by me. That's the goal, to have a movie. It's like movie and then created by Björgvin Arnarson. That's the goal.
Horror, comedy, drama. What are you thinking?
I don't know. Like maybe something like I guess I want to do like a mesh of a bunch of genres. I don't know.
That's awesome. So Chucky season 2 premiered a few days ago. Are you a fan of horror?
Yes. I like horror a lot.
Now, been working on the show and everything. Do you enjoy it even more now?
Yeah, and I think it's cool because now I'm like I get to see how things are made. So I guess the one downside is that they're not scary anymore. Not as scary because it's more like, oh, how did they do that effect? Oh, that was such a cool like thing they did, and it was kind of I like being behind the scenes. So I like seeing how things are done, so I can make it myself in the future. So I'm really enjoying that. I guess seeing how like that machine works and how things get made.
Now, what did you think of the fandom of Chucky? Is like I grew up with the original movies, and then they did the TV show season 1, and now season 2 is like fans have been waiting for season 2 to roll out. What's been like your interaction with that?
I mean, I did go do a Comic-Con panel recently, which was kind of like the first like thing I get to see like really like a lot of fans in one spot. So it's really cool seeing like all the Chucky cosplay and like I guess on the internet like fan art and like edits and stuff. So like to me, I'm like, dang, okay, I guess like because I'm pretty like grounded. So seeing all this, it's like, dang, I guess like my character kind of is able to reach a lot of people, and I was like, kind of seeing that in person, kind of was like, oh, okay, kind of amazing.
Awesome. How excited were you now for season 2 to return?
I'm super excited. I mean, it was really fun shooting, and there's a lot of fun stuff that's gonna happen, and I'm really excited for people to see later episodes.
So I mentioned, they know you as the role of Devin. What do you love about Devin?
I think, I like him because he's kind of like me a little bit, like a little tiny bit like me. And it's like, he's kind of charismatic. He's kind of like this cool guy, kind of, who, makes friends with anybody, and it was kind of cool to be able to play a character that, because I've never really been to school. So like being like doing anything in a school setting is kind of hard because I can't really relate. I'm homeschooled.
Yeah.
So, it was really fun kind of doing like a new spin on myself even kind of, and adding like things that I wouldn't do and I wouldn't really act like, but obviously, it's the character, it's not me. So I just have to, it's kind of fun doing that and kind of playing around with different like things.
Before you started filming season 1, what kind of description were you given for Devin? And did you have any input or like how you wanted to play him? Like, did you like go back to try to watch something similar just to get an idea?
I guess, I mean, I think the description was kind of what I said, like a charismatic kind of cool guy who has a podcast, and likes crime. So I kind of, the first thing I did was watch all the Chucky movies.
Okay.
Because maybe like the later ones have kind of a similar vibe, but I think the vibe of the show is different from the movies, but it still has a kind of a similar theme throughout all of them. And before we started shooting, like there's one big scene in I think episode 1 or 2 where Devin's playing the piano.
Okay.
And that scene was really funny because originally he was supposed to sing Bohemian Rhapsody, and I was talking to Don about it, and I was like, Don, I cannot sing. I cannot do that. And and they were kind of talking about what I could do. And obviously you can see behind me right here, there's a piano. And I was like, talking about that. He said, oh, that's a great idea. Devin can play piano because you have some expertise in that. So it was kind of fun talking to the director. And it's my first time kind of doing that because I didn't know that you could do that. I didn't know you could like talk to the director and be like, I want to do this instead. So I thought like I was like not allowed. But I guess it's good. It's great that Don's able to work with the actors and kind of create new characters, new ideas. And it was fun to be able to do that. And that was kind of one thing that kind of was like, oh, okay, I can. That was fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. So between season 1 and season 2 now, like how much do you think your character has changed?
I think he's changed a lot. I think, in season 1, he was a normal kid, and then he kind of gets put into this crazy Chucky drama. And then now after coming out of, season 1, he's kind of like hardened, kind of, and has a trauma now, seeing his mom die in front of him and all that. So, I do like how he's a bit more matter, especially in this, because he's a bit more like, especially in the FaceTime scene, he's all like, Jake, where are you, man? Come on, let's go. I don't think Devin season 1 would get that mad, but I think now, Devin wants to hold on to those relationships that he still has. And it's been hard for him.
So before we started talking, I was doing more research last night about the show and everything. And like, do you ever go like on those Facebook groups or like the Reddit groups to see what people are talking about the show?
I kind of did that a little bit. I was always kind of like curious, like, so what do people think? Critics, like, critics are one thing, but I want to see like the user reviews and how people think about it. So I found some Reddits. I looked at user reviews, and most of them are positive, but there's like the ones that are not positive. And it's, to me, they're really funny seeing them, and seeing how people think about the show. I'm like, okay, I actually agree with this one. I maybe should have done that a little bit differently. But I mean, the show's doing great. I think it's like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Right. Yeah, that's crazy. So it's fun being able to look around, and I'm kind of well versed in the internet, so I kind of know, like, if people are joking or being serious.
Right.
But yeah, it's been received really well, and I'm really excited for people to see season 2.
There was one question that people want to know is like the Halloween scene you have where you're cooking.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know what you were cooking.
Yeah, see, we had an opening shot that was going to be me like showing what I was cooking and putting stuff in a pot. I was making spaghetti. I was making spaghetti and meatballs, and I mean, I was stirring everything, but I guess they didn't use that shot. But yeah, that's what I was making. I was making spaghetti and meatballs for Jake, and he did not come, and I'm really mad about that.
Speaking of Jake, it's played by Zach. How do you describe that relationship now between season 1 and season 2? And it feels like the bond has gotten stronger with you guys also.
Yeah, I think, obviously we both kind of experienced Chucky together. So we kind of, obviously grew together with that. And, I think that it's similar with, I guess, my character and Jake's character, how we kind of are struggling a little bit to like hold that relationship after season 1. Cause, there's that big break, the opening scene, was all nice and cute. Y'all kiss and was happy. And then boom, 6 months later, that was really funny disposition when I watched it for the first time. And, there's a little bit of a, kind of, I guess not drama, but a little bit of like, okay, I haven't been able to meet you in a while, and I guess like the school, like I guess the new school setting kind of doesn't really help, and especially after Gary like dies, I think that Jake really takes that to heart and really feel really guilty about that. And Devin's more like, okay, so we know Chucky's back, we need to figure this out, and Jake needs to stop moping. But obviously, Devin still loves Jake, so he has to, comfort him,
Right.
but he kind of wants to bring him back on track. But so it's hard.
Speaking of Chucky, how do you film those scenes?
It's pretty cool because I guess a lot of people say that it's like VF, like that's CG, but it's not CG. I don't know why people think that. It's kind of interesting, but it's a real doll, and it's moving around, and the puppeteers are great. There's 2 puppeteers that are actually moving it, and then a bunch in the back with like little controllers that are like moving the eyes, eyebrows, and mouths. And you actually hear audio too of someone talking when the mouth's moving. So it's like working with a person. It's kind of a weird way to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the scenes are pretty relaxed. I guess the only problem that's really bad is that sometimes he breaks.
Okay.
He doesn't say his line. So it's kind of, you need to know how to like say your line and then wait for Chucky to say his line. And it's shot nicely, so it doesn't really like mess it up. But yeah, it's kind of, I got used to it pretty quick.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, was it a challenge the first time you had to do a scene like that?
Not really, because Devin season 1 didn't really get to do a lot of Chucky, talk to him a lot. But when there was scenes, I think he kind of worked around the kinks already, so it was kind of easy. And I guess it was a little weird at first, kind of looking at his face and being serious while looking at his face. It was kind of hard to do that because he's kind of goofy. But after like thinking about, okay, wait, he did kill my mom, so I had to be kind of mad at him. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Right. What's your favorite Devin scene?
In season 1?
Season 1 or season? Well, I know you can't tell us that much about season 2.
I can, but there are some fun scenes in season 2 that I can't tell you. Season 1, I have to jog my memory here.
I know it's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen season 1.
I guess the one scene that was really funny to shoot, and it came out really funny too, was the scene where Devin's all tied up, and his Derek Vertilli and Fiona Durf and Junior are all like, Teo are all like out there talking and being all evil, and Devin's just kind of there tied up, and he's like, oh, okay, and just seeing all these crazy people do things. And the scene where Chucky like brings his head and starts walking over, that was pretty fun. That was a fun scene to shoot.
Who's your favorite character in the series besides you?
Besides me in the series? Oh, I'm not gonna say Chucky because that's a cop out. I'm not gonna say that. Favorite character? I think I probably. Ooh. I guess maybe I kind of liked Andy's character, like Alex in season 1. It was kind of fun because I saw the movies beforehand, so it was kind of fun to already kind of see like the gritty Andy, but then seeing that in person, especially in that one scene where he escapes me out of the little tie, it was kind of fun being able to work with him and kind of work with like the OGs, so to speak.
Right.
And that was it was kind of fun to see his process.
That's awesome. Now, what are you hoping for the viewers that are going to tune in for the second season? That they're watching they've already seen the first episode, but they're tuning in now more and more. What are you hoping they get out of this season? And are they going to be happy with season 2? What's your thoughts?
Yes, I think they're going to be really happy about season 2. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a wild ride. I mean, it was really cool because during the panel there was a sneak peek of episode 2, and they showed a really fun scenes. They showed the scene where Jake and Devin are like in the bathroom trying to find Chucky, and that whole sequence was really fun where Chucky jumps on Jake's back and he's like, and then Devin has to kick him and stuff, and it was kind of fun to be able to show people like the new Devin who's kind of a bit more action packed. So yeah, it was kind of a. I mean, I'm excited for people to see season 2.
That's awesome. Now, what's next for you now? Any other projects you're allowed to tell us about that you're going to work on or got coming out?
I'm kind of just, I mean, I guess I'm focusing on school, but that's like just personal. And
Right.
I guess I'm working on like a bit of a clothing brand. I'm kind of wearing one design right now that I'm working on. Yeah.
Ugh,
But
that's awesome.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm working on right now. I'm kind of just keeping it relaxed and seeing if anything, I'm obviously doing more Chucky, season 3, holding the cards, obviously. I don't know. I'm just kind of just waiting.
It's amazing. Let's end it by how can the listeners and the viewers now find you in social media, keep up with you with more Chucky news, your brand?
I think it's my Instagram is Bjrgvin _Arnars, ARNARS. It's the verified one. So, I think I'm on Twitter. I don't use Twitter though. And I think and my clothing brand, it's on Instagram too. It's Loser Club _apparel. I'm working on that right now. There's nothing really out yet. There's kind of some stuff. There's some shirts I'm trying to get rid of. But yeah, I'm working on a drop soon.
That's awesome, Bjorgvin. I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes today. This was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.